Welcome back to the Real News Network. I'm Paul Jay in Washington. Joining us again from London is Mohammed Junaid. He's doing his doctorate in London. He comes from Peshawar, Pakistan. Thanks for joining us again, Mohammed.
Thank you.
So in recent days, the Pakistani Secret Service, the army, have arrested some of the important leadership of the Taliban. What's going on here?
Yes, it is, a very major shift, apparently, from what used to be said even in media. In the Musharraf era, there were two-star generals reporting in front of American officials that we have, stakes with Taliban. And we have to have them. They are, our proxies, or they are, our friends there. But that has, changed in the last 15 days because Pakistanis have, Pakistani secret services and ISI and all those have arrested many of Afghani Talibans, who were the leaders. Now, most of the voices that are coming out, from Pakistan are positive about it, and they think, it's a good thing. There are, two more versions, which we should keep in mind and see, what is happening.
When you say voices, you mean in the Pakistan media?
Yes, in the Pakistani media, these voices are coming out, and these are also opinion pieces, who are really analyzing this situation for the last 30 or 40 years, I would say.
To remind our viewers, there's the Taliban that's more called the Pakistani Taliban, that has as enemy this Pakistani state. And then there's the Afghan Taliban, which for years everyone has considered more or less a leaver of the Pakistani army. It's this Afghan Taliban that's being arrested, right? Which is why it's so surprising.
It is, yes. So one of the angles is, that Taliban are, a single plank. This is, taken by some people in Pakistan, by the rulers or all that. And they think, they are imposing a strict version of Islam in Pakistan or in Afghanistan, so they should be get rid of. And we should talk on the state level. But that's, the official thing. Now, two more voices that have, and recently, last night, a voice of former ISI Director General came out, who is General Asad Durrani. Durrani tribe is the one who ruled Afghanistan for a long time, so he's a Pashtun. In his opinion, it is tactically a very wrong move to make, because it is the time, when things are getting into negotiation, and you should have some people who really have soft corner for you. So he, said that if there is nothing inside it, and if it is an honest capture of these people, and which can be followed by a handover or access, that can be very troublesome for the future of Pakistan. And these borders can become insecure. There is also, a second version, that has got much more, currency, I would say. It's also in the Western media that these Taliban were actually, they were actually the negotiating people. Mullah brother was reported as, performing Hajj in Makkah, and he was also involved in talks. So actually these people have not been arrested to be interrogated or, taken to Bagram or somewhere, but these people are actually talking to Americans, and, they are reaching some kind of a deal.
If this is happening, is it suggested this would be with the blessing of Mullah Omar?
Yes, because Mullah Omar cannot, go without all these Taliban. There are many people, and Mullah Omar doesn't come forward, but, these people would represent him, surely. The whole thing was, put into another spin, I would say, 2 days ago, when Hikmatyar, the leader of Hizb Islami, he, announced his proposal for peace in Afghanistan. And he, said that there should be a council of elders which should represent everybody. So there is something going on. I personally think, it is not the case of simple arrest and, transfer thing. There is something inside. We don't exactly know what inside, what comes out of it. But there will be, things that will be revealing in future.
In the Western press in the last couple of days, there's been a lot of talk about Pakistan actually handing these quote-unquote prisoners over to Afghan and American authorities. I mean, if that were to happen, that would suggest this is a real arrest. But do you think that's actually likely, or what does all that amount to?
An interesting development happened today. From last night, it was being said that Pakistan has actually agreed with the Afghan government to hand them over. But today, a petitioner went into Pakistani High Court, and there was an emergency directive to the government from the High Court, which said that these people should not be handed over. So there is also, something going on that front, because the High Court simply said that these people should not be handed over. And in the recent past, Pakistani judiciary has shown, a huge amount of power and has, a big backing of people as well. So it is not, a plain thing that they will, be handed over.
Do you think this decision by the court, is that a defense of Pakistan's sovereignty, or is this the court getting involved in the politics of all of this?
There is that angle to it, but the petitioner actually went and said that you cannot swap people like this. There has to be a mechanism for that, and well, that is true. There has to be a mechanism for it, which is long and complex. So the court has said that you cannot directly hand them over for now. So I think there is some political angle to it. However, they have interpreted it through law.
And why is the Taliban seemingly interested in negotiating? It was only a few months ago when they were saying, we'll negotiate how the forces will leave and nothing else. Now they seem to be ready to talk about potentially power sharing and other sorts of things.
See, there are different, angles to it. One more angle is that there are Taliban who have, turned against Pakistan. That is also, reported, and that is true. It also comes, from my own sources back in Peshawar, that some Taliban are...
You mean sections of the Afghan Taliban?
Section of Afghan Taliban. They are in the Shura, which decides in the chairmanship of Mullah Omar, but they are, against Pakistan because they consider Pakistani, intelligence and, establishment as a traitor. The Taliban, I think, they are going to, play tactics now. You cannot underestimate them. They've become a politically very wise force now. They are not going to, America is going, to table talks as well as, a surge. And I think, they also want to replicate it with same tactics. They will also, talk on one dimension, and another dimension, there will be, something going on. So I expect, a complex situation coming out.
Thanks for joining us, Junaid.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us on the Real News Network.